My name is Laura Kipnis, and I'm a professor at Northwestern University where I teach film. Welcome to my exp. I was asked to write an essay about campus sexual politics, and I had no idea what a minefield I was stepping into. So I wrote this kind of, I thought, ironical, lighthearted article, starting with the fact that on my own campus, there had just recently been instituted a new policy or code prohibiting professor and student dating or romance or sexual relationships. And, this had come sort of out of the blue. And I was comparing it to my own years in school where honestly, everybody slept with their teachers and we all were partying and drinking and, nobody seemed to suffer too much from it. And so I wrote this essay, and it became incredibly controversial in ways that I hadn't entirely anticipated. So I think I was a bit out of touch with what was going on. So I ended up writing more about campus sexual politics, or as I came to think of it, campus sexual paranoia. I ended up writing a book about a case on my own campus involving a professor who gotten involved with some students. But some of the things I ended up understanding about the sexual culture among students, among undergrads, made me think about how very conflicted and contradictory the experience of sex is for students. You have the rise of internet porn and its mainstreaming in ways that I think have changed sexual culture and possibly changed male sexual style to a point that I think the sex is more aggressive. There's more stuff that goes on that's not necessarily pleasant for everyone involved. And I think young women enter these situations and don't exactly know how to say no in the moment to things they may not want to do, which would include things like choking, anal sex, all of this stuff that is kind of a derivative of porn, the popularity of porn. And then you also have the rise of this kind of regulatory culture on campus where colleges and universities are stepping in to regulate and adjudicate and pass judgment and sentence people who are accused of some kind of sexual misconduct or transgression. And those people will generally be undergraduate guys, although that extends. I now hear about more and more cases with women getting accused of stuff. The imperative to regulate in some degree comes from the federal government, and in the United States, Title IX, which is this federal regulation that demands that schools, in the name of gender equity, also police sexual misconduct or find ways to do that. And the ways that they found to do that are incredibly secret. So for me to write about this subject, which I did end up writing a book about, it was because I got access to a set of records that I shouldn't have had access to. So all of these tribunals are going on behind closed doors under the auspices of Title IX. They're not public. The rules are not known. So you have these adults stepping in and pronouncing judgment on, student sexual conduct. And you also have the rise of, these apparatuses, the existence of Title IX offices and student deans, I think to some degree solicits or increases the number of accusations that get made. There's almost a kind of shopping expedition for for accusations to prosecute, because the more these offices grow and get staffed up and get funded and get more funding and more funding, and the offices and the bureaucracy grows, the more stuff they need to find to adjudicate. So you have these new, very muscular forms of governance or paternalist feminism that, in my view, are not actually ones that in any way help students, particularly undergraduate women, in later life, because they suggest that to fix, to adjudicate, to solve the problems that we all encounter in life, like somebody wants to do something to us we don't want to do. Well, the problem is post graduation, there's not a Title IX office over there to submit a complaint to, and you've got to figure out how to maneuver these situations, manage these situations yourself. And it would be wonderful if the culture transformed itself automatically or instantly, and sexuality and heterosexuality was revamped in ways that meant no one had to encounter a sexual situation that wasn't going the way they wanted it to go. I mean, yes, that would be great. But the reality is, I think that these campus kind of I guess it's a version of what right-wingers would call the nanny state. I think they do end up, in a way, disempowering the students that they are meant to empower.